All right, we are live. Welcome to Beyond the Spread. Hopefully, you can hear me. I have adjusted my mic volume, so where this is, let's figure this out. I'm not a trial and error guy. I'm a balls to the walls kind of guy. I think we're all kind of like that. Anyways, we are in Sweet 16. We are in March Madness. We are in the thick of it. All this shit happening. I mean, we haven't had any crazy upsets. I think we're all kind of looking for the Cinderella, the one that we can all attach ourselves to, which I think we've kind of been talking about the last couple of weeks, where it's like probably not going to happen. It's so top heavy, especially with this SEC conference right now. I mean, they dominated. I mean, I know Missouri got bounced out. I know a couple other teams got bounced out. I mean, Arkansas is hanging in there. They beat St. John's. We'll get to that. Let's actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just start with it. Arkansas beat St. John's. Patino versus Cal. Legendary matchup. These guys know each other like the back of their hands. They play a great game. But St. John's, man, I mean, they tried to shoot like they were the 2017 Golden State Warriors. I mean, they tried and it just was not falling. And then at the end of the game, you shake the hands, all that kind of stuff. And then who is it? Patino. Patino goes to the press conference. He's like, some reporter asked him why he didn't play his best player, and Patino gave him a straight up answer. He's like, don't try to make me shit on my player, but he just wasn't having his game. And when the shots aren't falling, someone's got to go in there and have the shots fall. And the guy ended up playing 30 minutes. Some of the bench players got some more minutes, but when you're just off like that, it's tough. I did have St. John's going deep. I had them in the Final Four. I had them going to the Elite Eight. I mean, to get bounced in the round of 32, it's tough. It's real tough, especially when you have so much hype around the team. I mean, St. John's, they haven't been relevant in years. Patino comes there, second year in. It's a successful season. Let's just say that. It's a successful season for St. John's, for the team, for Patino, too. I mean, he's going to get a lot of guys coming through there now. I mean, who doesn't want to play with Patino? I mean, if you're coming out, unless you are going to like a Duke or maybe, I'm not even going to say North Carolina, but Florida at this point, Auburn. I mean, St. John's has got to be on that list somewhere because you're going to get some great coaching. You're going to be in the heart of New York City, which has got to be a sweet spot to go to school at. But yeah, Arkansas beats St. John's. Arkansas, I mean, they're the highest seed ranked right now, or the lowest seed right now in the tournament, who's, in the Sweet 16. I mean, I like Cal. I have no problem with Cal. I don't see Arkansas making it far, but, I've been wrong before, just like I was wrong about fucking St. John's. I did not see Cal. I did not see Cal and the Arkansas Razorbacks make it to the Sweet 16 with the chance to go into the Elite Eight, maybe make a Final Four run. I mean, they're playing Texas Tech. I kind of like Arkansas. We'll get to the Sweet 16 games. I got the lines. I got the over, unders, all those kinds of things. We'll talk about them. Arkansas beat St. John's. That's really what it is. Florida escapes UConn. To be the champ, you got to beat the champs. UConn, man, they played a hell of a game. This Florida team is conditioned. They play well with each other. They're synced up left and right. I don't know the name of the point guard, but he is absolutely disgusting. The three that he hit at the end, the one before the one at the end, he hit like it came off pick and roll, guy on his face, little shimmy to the right, step back three, bucket. I mean, he was disgusting. I don't know his name, but shout out that guy. I don't know his name. Don't know his name. Again, I said this last week. I was late to the Florida bandwagon. I'm fully on it right now, but I was late to it. Very late to it. Had no idea they were this good all year. No idea. We're going to address it, but let's just talk about Dan Hurley. I mean, the comments when he's walking down the tunnel after losing. Look, if you're in a competitive sport, you're a sore loser, okay? I fucking hate losing. Losing is the worst, whether it's in golf, basketball, if I'm just playing cornhole, if I'm playing video games, it's the worst. Losing is the worst. If you're like, oh, it's just a game, fuck you, okay? You're a loser. Dan Hurley, love him or hate him. I like him. I have no problem with him. He's a competitor. He's passionate about what he does. When you go back-to-back national championships and continue to cover the spread for 2 years in a row in the tournament. It's unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. And they still have covered every spread, whether it be in their dogs or not. They cover. That's all they do. Dan Hurley covers. That's what he does in the tournament. Look, the comments, he's like, hopefully don't fuck you like the way they fucked us, Baylor. Something like that. Taking a shot at the refs. Fair. He was complaining all game. He was on the refs all game. That's what Dan Hurley does. I have no problem with him being the asshole. I really don't. I think people are blowing it way out of proportion. I saw something that he's going to get suspended for the first 3 games and fined like $20,000. Fuck it. I mean, he's a passionate guy. Then, later when he's walking down the tunnel, he addresses the locker room, all that kind of stuff, and starts talking to reporters. He talked to one reporter. I mean, he started breaking down crying. It's like the man wears the heart and passion on his sleeve. That's the guy I would want to play for. Dan Hurley, I would love to play for Dan Hurley. Probably right now over Patino. Over a lot of these guys. I mean, you can hate Dan Hurley all you want, saying he's a piece of shit, all this kind of stuff. I'm a Dan Hurley fan, through and through. Some of his antics, sure, but he's a Northeastern guy. He lives and breathes basketball, UConn basketball. He wants to be the face of college basketball. That's just the way it is. Winning comes at a price, but when you're on top, the view's not bad. I'd like Florida to win it all. I really do. I'm hoping for a Florida Duke championship game. That is what we want. Or can we get? I don't even know if we can fucking get it. I don't even know if we can get it. Let's go through it real quick. Oh, I'm so fucking pissed. That's what I want. That would be amazing. Or was it Florida Duke or was it Florida Houston that I wanted? Either way, whatever. I want to see these teams play each other. And people are saying, let's just get to it now. I have it written down, but Stephen A. Smith saying this will be the death of college basketball with no Cinderella stories, which, you know what, I think there's a grain of truth in there. You know what, we all want to root for the underdog because we all see a little bit of ourselves as an underdog. But Stephen A. Smith saying that, bro, you don't watch college basketball. You're getting confronted by LeBron James. You got so many other things going on. I promise you're not watching Oregon late at night seeing if they cover. I promise you didn't watch Oregon once this tournament. I haven't watched Oregon since the tournament. So it's come on, Stephen A. You're not that guy, okay? Do we all, again, like I said, we all want to see the plucky underdog. We all want to see the Cinderella story. We all want to see, St. Peter's or fucking Florida Gulf Coast University. We all want to see them make a run. We all do. I love it. I think it's interesting. But when it comes down to it, when we get to these Elite 8 games, even into the Sweet 16, it's I want the best teams possible on the floor at all times because I want to watch good games. I don't want to turn on a game and seeing Florida beating the shit out of McNeese State in the Elite 8. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not good. It's not good. Sure, you can say, oh, the Cinderella story. There will always be a Cinderella story throughout March Madness. It's just, every year, every few years, you just get so many good teams at the top that it's they don't even these Cinderella stories don't really stand a chance. I mean, Purdue, Virginia, we've had so many great Cinderellas and upsets these last few years that it's okay, I want to see the big dogs eat. Let's get after it, and let's run this fucking tournament the way it's supposed to be. It's a bizarre way to win a tournament where you have to run through the American Conference and you're playing a team from fucking, I don't even know where, the Sun Belt. It's bizarre. But you know what? You got to do it if you want it. But Stephen A. Smith saying that, it rubbed the wrong way. It's that's not the death of college basketball. Sure, NIL will change basketball. It's changing college sports as it is right now. When you look at college football, I mean, the top dog, it's starting to get more saturated where you're you see Diego Pavia or whatever his name is for Vanderbilt, I think it was. Was it Vandy or Missouri? No, it wasn't Missouri. I think it was Vandy. It was Vandy. I mean, when he played football, I mean, they offered him a shit ton of money. They're come play here. It'll saturate its way through college sports. But it's just what it is. The big schools are going to get the best players, but can offer the most money and the most endorsements and all these kinds of things. Which, again, it sucks for the lower teams, especially when you get to a point like this in March Madness where you're okay, I know that there are maybe 3 NBA starters on this Duke team versus, I mean, whoever the fuck they played the other night, where it's like, okay, they're out there just hustling. I hope to see you guys on LinkedIn soon, that kind of thing. Florida, Stephen A. Maryland. Maryland's had the only buzzer beater all March Madness. I think we're gonna get some really good games in the next couple days, and I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 buzzer beaters, but like Maryland hitting that game winner over that CSU. CSU goes up, hits a massive three with like 5 seconds left. I think it was actually like 3.5. The guy from Maryland, born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. He coach in the huddle. He's like, "Who wants the ball?" He says, "I'm from Baltimore, motherfucking Maryland. Give me the rock." Coach says, "Okay." Draws him up a play, gets the inbound, crossover, 1-2 off the glass, bang, game over. Hell of a shot. I was watching it on my phone. I was in the passenger seat, and I go, "Holy shit!" Hit the game winner. Freaked out for like 5 seconds. I had to like back up on YouTube TV. Shout out YouTube TV for getting the CBS package back again. Had to back up on it, had to show it to everyone, and it was like, oh, okay, so Maryland's good. I like Maryland. I don't think they can win it all. I mean, who do they got this week? Who do they got on Thursday? They got Florida. They'll hang around. They'll fight. They'll give it their best effort, but that Florida team, man. That Florida team. But yeah, I mean that was like one of the big highlights from the past couple rounds of games was Maryland hitting the game winner over CSU. Shout out CSU, Colorado guy. I like to see our teams, in the tournament and wherever they go. Not a huge CSU fan, but I mean they made it to the second round. Their Mountain West teams usually get knocked out in the round of 64 like fucking so quick. They don't even cover. They just get smacked. So shout out CSU. I mean, growing the game, getting better. As of right now, before we start getting to the games, Ole Miss on a hell of a run. I didn't think they were going to get past UNC in the second round or first round. I don't think they were going to get past them in the first round. So they're on a good run. I mean, made it to the Sweet 16. I'm shocked by Purdue at this moment. They're kind of coasting under the radar. Like the last couple of years, they had Zach Edey. They had these, small white point guards who were running the offense, pick and roll, shooters in the corner, and crazy athletic dude. They're just kind of coasting under the radar. Like they're a 4 seed. They're running through everyone. Maybe not running through everyone, but they got Houston. I feel like that's gonna be a good game. I know Houston's gonna win it, but I like Purdue to cover the 7.5 over the 132. I think that's a solid number right there. That is a solid number. That's the last game that we're gonna talk about. So, Purdue's kind of skating under the radar. Could they beat Houston? Hypothetically, yeah, they could, but I don't know. But yeah, those two teams have caught my eye where I'm like, huh. I mean, BYU is really good right now. Arizona versus Duke, little Caleb Love action from UNC days. Arkansas, I'm not really shocked about, but Cal, Texas Tech, always kind of in the mix. Michigan State's having a good year. Kind of expect Tennessee to always be there. Michigan on a really good run right now. All these teams who are they could be frisky in this Sweet 16 round. They could cover a game. They could maybe hit a game winner if they're in it long enough and hanging with these big-ass teams who are expected to win the tournament. Speaking of expecting to win the tournament, it's kind of changed. I had St. John's in here last week or 2 weeks ago, one or the other. Duke, Auburn, Florida, and Houston. Those are the teams that are going to win it. Oh, you picked all the fucking, 1 seeds or whatever. No shit. I really do think it is that fucking top heavy right now where we look at these teams. You see Duke crushing everyone by 30. Auburn's kind of catching their second wind right now. They've kind of fucked around in the first halves of their games where they're like, we know you're better. We're better than you, so we're just going to turn it on in the second half. Florida beat UConn. Close game. That's how you're supposed to win those games against defending national champions with championship DNA, all these kinds of things. They rolled through the first game. You get to UConn. It's like, okay, we got to fucking lock down and actually play our brand of basketball for 40 minutes. And then Houston's just, The thing with Houston is I'm okay with any of those teams that really won. If I wanted to rank them, I'd probably go. I I don't see how it's not Duke or Florida. I really don't. It's probably going to be Florida, Duke, Houston, Auburn. I know I was standing on my pedestal last week or the week before about Bruce Pearl, how I think he's fucking great and how I think this team can really get it done. But for out of those four, I don't really give a fuck about Auburn. Go Dogs. That's why maybe. But yeah, let's get into the games. Those are my top four that are like they can win this, and I think they're gonna win it. Houston, they get there and then they don't do it, or they make a deep run and then they get knocked out in the Final Four, Elite Eight. They get knocked out by Purdue. I'm kind of sneaking up on this Purdue team. The more I talk about it, the more I'm thinking about it. It's like Purdue might be able to do it. Purdue might be able to do it. First game, these are on Thursday. BYU versus Bama. Bama minus 5.5. Over under 175.5. I'd like both these teams are going to try to get out and run. Is Bama going to be on? You know, you get a couple days rest. You come out. Are you going to be on Are you going to be on your shit? Are you going to be able to stroke the ball left and right, move that rock around? Is Nelson going to get healthy? Is he going to mix in there, get some minutes again? I don't know. I just don't want to see Bama make it that far. So I'm trying to time out my pick against Bama, and it might be now. Fuck it. We'll go BYU minus plus the 5.5. I am going to take the under. I don't see Bama. I don't see Bama. This might be it. This might be a time where Bama's off. They have to go get some 2-pointers. They have to get in the mid-range game. They have to get the floaters going, all this kind of stuff where BYU's kind of synced up. They're rolling. They got all the confidence in the world. Yes, they have to go play a good Bama team, possibly great Bama team, but I think they're going to hang in there and buzzer beater maybe. We'll go BYU plus the 5.5. Maryland versus Florida. I just think it's Florida. I really do. Give me the 6.5 with Florida. What was I saying? Florida minus the 6.5. I like the over as well. Is 156.5. Maryland's going to be able to score at least 60. I mean, Florida's defense is good, but you still got to get buckets. It's all about getting buckets. What did Uncle Drew teach us in that movie? It's all about getting buckets. Or in that commercial, it's all about getting buckets. Florida minus the 6.5. Over 156.5. Arizona Duke. I think this is going to be a good game. Caleb Love playing Duke, played for UNC for 3 years, 3.5, 4 years. I don't know. I don't know how many years he has left. I think this is his last year. For him to knock off Duke would be a miracle run. It would be a homage to UNC. Like, hey, you guys are my home. I'm really just at Arizona for the money, that kind of shit. 9.5's a lot. I know Arizona's good. This Duke team is really good. I just think there's something about it. I'm going to ride with the Caleb Love and then plus 9.5. Plus 9.5. Duke wins, but I think they cover. 153.5. Give me the over. I love that one, actually. Give me the over. Arkansas versus Texas Tech nightcap on Thursday. Texas Tech minus 5.5. Over under 148.5. Is Cal going to have these guys ready? Texas Tech kind of floats in the realm of Purdue that I was talking about a little bit earlier. They're kind of just sneaking around in my mind. Like I'm not like I have my eyes on Texas Tech. I'm like they're over here somewhere in the corner, and I know they're playing good basketball, but do we see it now? Is it going to be on full display since we're in the Sweet 16? 5.5. Does Arkansas making an Elite 8 run? I think so. Fuck it. Give me Arkansas outright too. Give me them plus 5.5 and money line. Give me the money line. I'm making a note money line. Over 148.5 as well. I look really dumb. That 175.5 is so many fucking points. Think about that. That is each team scoring 85 plus. That is crazy. It's almost 90 plus each team. I just think Bama's gonna have a good game, But I think defense is going to win that game. And BYU's preaching that right now at practice. We want to win this game. We have to play good defense. So that's why I'm taking the under in that Bama BYU game. These 156s, Arkansas, Texas Tech are both going to get out and run. Maybe not get out and run, but they're going to be able to put up at least, 65-ish, which is what we need. Actually, we need more than that. We need about 75-ish. Looking at it now, math not so good in my realm. Never really been my strong suit. Anyways, Friday, Ole Miss, Michigan State. I like Michigan State. I think Ole Miss has been on a great run, but give me the 3.5 and give me the over as well. 143.5 of the Ole Miss Michigan State game. Michigan State's just been some dogs all year, and I think I'm going to continue to ride them until I've been proven wrong. Ole Miss, hell of a run. Clap it up for Ole Miss. But I think this Michigan State team's got a little fucking juice, a bunch of fucking dogs on their team, where Ole Miss, they got some dogs, but it's just different. It's like they got some dogs, but Michigan State's got some dogs. Does that make sense? Kentucky versus Tennessee. I think it's out on Tennessee. I think it's time for Tennessee to, I like Ziegler. He's been a great coach. All this, point guard, excuse me. It's just Kentucky's time. I think we're seeing, how do I say this? We see top tier teams. It's top heavy. You know what else is top heavy? Give me these blue bloods. Give me Kentucky plus the 4.5. Do I think they win? Maybe. But I think they cover. Give me the over too. Wow, I'm taking all the overs. I love it. I love it. One of these, it's probably going to be Arkansas, Texas Tech, where it's going to be an under. Give me the over. Kentucky, Tennessee, 144.5. I love it. I love it. Michigan versus Auburn. Michigan knows how to hang around with these games. All season, all year, even in the last week, they had to go on a deep run. They had to go on a big run to even get back into that game. Auburn minus 8.5. Auburn, I think Bruce Pearl's trying to time out when to unleash the beast. I don't know what beast that is unless I'm way off on this, but those big plays where it's a bucket every time. These plays where this guy's going to be open in the corner just based off the defense and all that kind of stuff. But give me Michigan plus the 8.5. I don't like this one. 153.5. I'm guessing Michigan's going to have to make a late run. Auburn's going to have to stay out in front by at least 6 or 7. What are we looking at? 75. 153.5 is the over-under for the Michigan versus Auburn game. Give me the over. I can't believe I have an under. I'm taking one under out of these 8 games. Oh my goodness. All right, last game. Purdue versus Houston. Houston minus 7.5. Over under 132.5. Do I take the under? Do we take the under? First of all, let's talk about that. Do we take the under? I know it's 132 points. We're looking for 133. Do some math. We're looking for about 67 points each. 66 points each. If we're trying to get exact math. I'm not saying, blah, blah, blah. Purdue plays that half-court offense. So does Houston. Houston gets out and runs when they get a chance, where like Purdue's like, hey, you know what? They're going to get set back on defense. We're going to run our offense on the other side. But still, I'm going to take Houston minus the 7.5. I mean, 132 is so low. It's low for a reason, but over. We have one under, and it's the 175 game. Everything else is good. The 153 with Auburn, Michigan, it's going to turn into a rock fight where the first half it's going to be like, 32 to like 27. You're like, okay, we need about 50 points each from both of these teams. That is the Sweet 16 right there. We just went through the games. We will have our Final Four next time we record, next time we talk. We got Thursday, Friday, Sweet 16 games, Elite 8 on Saturday and Sunday. Basketball, hoops, the tournament. Oh my gosh! Sticky B. Anyways, all right, let's get some football news. Before I jumped on here, Russell Wilson, 1 year, $21 million, 10.5 guaranteed to the New York Giants. The G-Men. The G-Men. I can't do Berman voice. G-Men. G-Men. Boomer. What was that show? What was his name? Before Booger McFarlane. What was it? Tom Jackson. Bronco. Teach. Russell Wilson, 1 year, $20 million. The Giants. Look, the Giants know they're not going anywhere. The Giants know that they don't have they don't have a really good team, and they're not going to have a good team for the next couple of years. Here's the crazy part. The Giants have Tommy DeVito, Jameis Winston, who also signed with the Giants last week, and now Russell Wilson. Going into this, it was like, hey, the Giants are going to try to draft a quarterback. That's what we all thought. I guess they're not going to, or they're going to and release Tommy DeVito somewhere along the lines. But I don't know what they're doing. That front office seems like a joke to me. What do you do? I mean, let's all be honest. When the Broncos signed Russell Wilson, I was like, okay, this seems very interesting. From a Broncos fan, at least, it was like, oh, this is very interesting. Maybe he can make us into the playoff team in like a year or two. Didn't happen. Goes to the Steelers. Plays kind of a shitty like schedule, so it's like, okay. You know, you go 10-4, then you lose your last like 5 games. So it's like, the writing's already on the wall. Then you get into the playoffs, you get absolutely, maybe not smoked, but you get your shit pushed in a little bit. And the Giants are like, hey, you know what? We want that guy. We want the even older version of Russell Wilson now. Look, I respect Russell for being in the league still, but it's like, all right, man. The game's going to retire you in about a year or two. I don't doubt you can still move. I don't doubt that you still have a rocket for an arm. Let's go try out MLB. Let's go play second base or something like that. I mean, you probably still got a decent swing on you, maybe. I just don't understand what this move is or what this move is about. So it's like, it's not a good move. Shout out to the Giants for not making the playoffs. We can just write them off. I feel like right now we can write them off. I see Jameis Winston eventually starting at some point with Russell Wilson being like, hey, I'm injured. Probably not going to play for 6 weeks. Jameis comes in, maybe a little Tommy DeVito action, and Russell Wilson comes in, wins his last like 3 or 4 games, goes maybe 2 for 5, 2 for 4 the last 4 weeks, and it's like, oh, I still got this. I can turn this team around. No, you cannot, buddy, because you are now... I want to know what their win total is going to be. It's got to be 5? Are we thinking 5? I would love to see their schedule. I'm excited to see their schedule. But yeah, leads me to my next point, which Russell Wilson is now gone from Pittsburgh. Kind of opens the door up for Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron has a higher ceiling right now than Russell Wilson. You could completely disagree with me on that. But I think Aaron Rodgers still has a little bit of juice left. He needs to prove all the haters wrong, where Russell Wilson's like, I have no haters, or he thinks he doesn't have haters, or maybe he knows he has plenty of them. But I think Rodgers is now going to go to the Steelers. It's all about the dollar sign. It's going to be maybe a 1 or 2 year deal. And then that might be it for Rodgers. I mean, who knows? He visited Pittsburgh like last week or something like that. And it's like, dude, like, you should have just stuck with the Packers another year. Tried to win a Super Bowl. I get it. Jordan Love was behind him. But I don't know. Or is he going to go to Minnesota? Or is Rodgers going to go to Minnesota and complete the Brett Favre eulogy? You know, that kind of thing. I don't know if eulogy is the right word, but the Brett Favre tracking. So who knows? The other big news that just happened was Stephon Diggs, 3 years, $69 million with the New England Patriots, right? I mean, Drake May, I like Drake May. I think his ceiling is really high, but feels like a bit of an overpriced Stephon Diggs. If you're Stephon Diggs, are you like, am I glad I got out of Buffalo now? Are you like, oh, I'm so glad I left Buffalo with the second best QB in the league. I mean, technically first best QB because he won the MVP. And then you go to the I thought he was going to stay with the Texans. I really did. CJ Stroud, young core. You can be a veteran wide receiver there. You can go be a veteran wide receiver in New England too, make a shit ton of money, and then be like, I'm out. And that kind of thing. I respect that. I respect going and getting paid. Get paid, Stephon Diggs. I'm not hating on you getting paid. I'm just mad that you went there and said, fuck it. Like I'm not going to, I'm going to be maybe a playoff team in 2 years. By the end of this contract, I'm going to be, I get it. I totally get it. The Patriots are like, hey, come play for us. We're going to give you so much money, you're not even know what to do with it. As a receiver, as a quarterback, I mean, maybe not quarterback, but they're looking for receivers. They offered T. Higgins like $65, $70 million for like 4 years. He's like, no, I'm going to stay in Cincinnati because he knows he wants to win. Shout out the Bengals for getting that deal done. I still am shocked that they got it done. They're going to have to score 50 points. They're both going to have to stay healthy. Joe Burrow is going to have to stay healthy. You can't do that with a crappy offensive line and a shitty defense. You know what? I'm getting too deep into the football season. We're in March. Jameis signed with the Giants. Packers try to ban the tush push, kind of a soft move by you Packers fans, the owners of the Packers, essentially. So, kind of dumb. I mean, if you can't beat it, try it. If you can't beat it, it's I don't even know what the saying is, but like the Eagles, you're basically just being like, we don't want the Eagles to do it anymore because every time they play us, we can't stop it. No one can stop it. You saw the Bills try to do it with Josh Allen, QB sneak, left side, over the guard. It got stuffed half the time. So it's like, what are you doing? What are we doing here, Packers? But yeah, I think it's dumb. I think if you can't stop it, be better. If you try to do it your own. You telling me Jordan Love can't do it? I think Jordan Love could do it. He's a little taller than Jalen Hurts. Probably doesn't squat as much as Jalen Hurts, but it's like it's all about just timing the snap, I feel like. You can do the same formation. The center just literally has to dive under the nose tackle's legs. Like that's really it. And then just push. And then just drive your feet. You're telling me you can't do that, Packers? You telling me you can't do that? Fuck out of here. That's really all the big NFL news that I have right now. Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, and Jared Goff are going to be on Quarterback Season 2 on Netflix, that amazing show that they did. The receivers one was okay. The tight ends one, was it tight ends or receivers? I don't know. It was okay. Let's try to keep it with quarterbacks. I understand mixing it. You have to do some other, like this year it'll probably be like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are just going to be on the same team doing the same shit and then like throw a third receiver in there. I'm excited to see what happens with Joe Burrow. Kirk Cousins is going to kind of be a bummer to watch because it's like he ends up getting benched and he's still on the team. It's going to be a tough watch. But I'm excited to see Jared Goff on it too. See how he progresses through that entire this last season because, they were supposed to win the Super Bowl. Then I'm excited to hear him talk about Hutchinson, how that affected the entire team, the morale of the team. I know it's next man mentality. I want to hear what Dan Campbell's talking about, all that kind of stuff. Excited about that. ESPN wants to buy the NFL Network, Red Zone, and NFL Plus for about $2 billion, which means Red Zone would end up getting ads. I love Red Zone. I wish I had, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 TVs going on at one time. I got one that I can put like the quad box on. I can put Red Zone on. But it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing, ESPN? You don't need the NFL Network. You don't. You're the worldwide leader in sports. You don't need the network. You don't need Red Zone. Keep it with NFL. Now, did we all get mad at Red Zone the last few weeks because they were starting to show ads? Yes. NFL, you are a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Keep ads out of Red Zone. That's all I ask. Just keep ads out of Red Zone. Just keep out of it. Who cares? You can pump money into Red Zone. You can pump money into NFL Network. I feel like it's not that hard. You own these corporations. So just funnel money in there and stop giving us ads on Red Zone. Anyways, the last thing, I didn't like this one. Under Armour is now the NFL sponsor for cleats and gloves. look, I like Under Armour. I have no problem with Under Armour. I think they're a great company, all that kind of shit. No free ads. No free ads. But it's just going to kind of look dumb now. It's like Nike sponsors the jersey, the pants, maybe the towels, the socks, but like you get the gloves, Under Armour, and you get the gloves that are other than the Under Armour athletes who are signed with Under Armour, I can't imagine that a lot of these players, unless you played with Under Armour in college, that I don't see it. Unless you have a deal with Nike, I guess now that you only wear Nike. Obviously, like the Adidas athletes and the Nike athletes, but like if you're not signed with them, you're gonna have to fucking wear Under Armour. And I feel like that kind of sucks. I like Under Armour, but I remember Under Armour falling apart when I was a kid. You wear it so much that they would just fall apart. In college, I had Under Armour cleats, and you wear them so much, the soles start to fall out, and they started to melt. All that kind of shit. Oh wow. Breaking news. Damian Lillard has developed a deep vein thrombus, a blood clot, in his right calf. He is out indefinitely. All right, so Milwaukee's not winning it this year. That sucks. I like Damian Lillard a lot, too. Hopefully he's good. Damn. That's kind of some breaking news. I feel like Damian Lillard has broken news on this show. That's the second time. Out indefinitely, so maybe his career's over? Maybe? Indefinitely means fucking forever. But Under Armour, I get it. Do you go pay your millions and millions of dollars to the NFL? But like, it's not the best. It's just not the best. I'm a Nike guy through and through. Just the way it is. I can't control it. Anyways, the last thing I'll end with is the shit that grinds my gears. Shit that grinds my gears this week is just work. Just when you're at work, maybe I have to go to the office 5 days a week. I'm stuck in the office. I'm looking outside. I'm like, wow, it is a beautiful day outside. I really wish I could just leave and go golf. That's the shit that grinds my gears. Or when you walk outside, I take my lunch outside. I take my breaks outside. Just beautiful outside, right? And you're like, wow, I'm so just I got to work in an office. I can't do anything. Like, you know what? Hey, if you're watching this and you get to be outside or work outside or do shit outside during the day and you're not stuck in a corporate office, good for you. You're my hero. You're my hero. Can't do it. Just can't do it. It just grinds my gears. I'm just like, seriously? I'm like, what? Whatever. It grinds my gears quite a bit because I'm looking and walking outside and I'm like, man, I wish I was just not here right now. That's what the weekend's for, right? Yeah, when everyone else is out there, get fucked. Get absolutely fucked. Anyways, that's the show. That's Beyond the Spread. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to like 50 subscribers. I don't know. It costs nothing on YouTube to subscribe. It costs nothing to follow and subscribe on Spotify. It's Beyond the Spread. Like, comment, to the fucking moon, right? To the fucking moon. Till next week, bet responsibly. Don't bet responsibly. I have no sponsors, so bet irresponsibly if you have to. Can't blame it on me, though. I never said that. I did say that, but like, bet responsibly. Bet responsibly. Anyways, Beyond the Spread. Like, comment, subscribe. Next week. Final Four, baby. Final Four.